Hey, what's up? This is a Thread Thursday from the Fight Club. And today, because this is Men's Mental Health Month, our thread is coming from Official Grit Clothing. Y'all make sure y'all go follow them. Let's get straight into it. Men are less likely to seek help. It's not because men don't struggle. It's because many are taught to stay silent about their pain. Now, according to the APA, the American Psychological Association, men are significantly less likely than women to seek therapy or mental health support, even when they're suffering. Now, we know silence hurts, and the pressure to appear tough keeps far too many men struggling in silence instead of getting support. It takes strength to speak up. Check in, listen, encourage therapy. You could help save a life. If you or someone you know is struggling, call or text 988 for support. Now, I started the Fight Club coaching program back in 2020. And the reason I started it is because I watched this movie years and years and years ago, I think in 1999, called The Fight Club. And there were 8 rules to the Fight Club. And the number 2 rules for the Fight Club movie was don't talk about the Fight Club. And it had me thinking, the things that we fight against the most, or we fight about the most, we are most silent about. Imagine an entire generation grows up with this household rule: don't talk about what goes on in the household. What would it do to a generation or generations that had no permission to discuss or talk about things that not only happened in the household, but things that were going on within them? When there is no permission to speak, then what I see is a reluctance to speak. I see a whole generation that suffers in silence because they don't know how to communicate, especially about things that are going on within them or traumatic experiences that they've had in life. And so they're living in these hiding places, hiding behind a smile or hiding behind laughter, hiding behind their job, hiding behind a career, hiding behind relationships, hiding behind money, hiding behind clothes, cars, shoes, hiding behind all of these things. And so when it's time to really discuss what's really going on the inside, you have to pull off these layers to get to the root of the problem. And so to Official Grit Clothing, I appreciate this thread because too many men are suffering in silence. And we want to be a part of the solution, not the problem, right? And so it takes us to be vocal about things that we've been through. I know it took a mentor and me connecting on a weekly basis with him, and him unknowingly to me creating a therapeutic environment that I began to unpack and discuss things that had happened to me in my past and that I was going through currently. And just through that communication, I began to, just feel relief, peace, and begin to get clarity about why some of these things happen and how to navigate them as well. And this is why I wrote a book called Let's Unpack. And this is why I have an annual event called Let's Unpack, because we need an environment to unpack repressed emotions and negative experiences and overcome this nonchalant piece that causes us not to care about life. When we adopt nonchalant, that's a coping mechanism for trauma, and it's a survival mechanism, and it leaves you in a life where you're always reacting in life instead of thoughtful response. You're living out of patterns that you learn in your survival instead of intentionally living about creating a life in the future and rewriting a narrative for your future, right? And so I want to invite you to Let's Unpack 20